The most visibility that Jeb Bush has had of late came yesterday when he was holding a town hall meeting 13 miles away from Donald Trump. And there was this big buildup in the news. Whoa, they're having town halls not very far from one another. And Bush is attacking Trump, saying that he used to be a liberal, used to be a Democrat, and he supported liberal causes like health care and also higher taxes on the wealthy. And he's trying to paint himself as the big conservative. One of the things that no one predicted was someone was going to be able to raise as much money as Bush has raised so far through a super PAC and do so little with it. He is just watching Trump suck the air out of the room. And so what do the home folks think about this in Florida? I'm curious about how is Jeb Bush playing in his own state and what he's saying and how his campaign's doing against the front-runner Trump. Annette Taddeo joins us, longtime friend of mine. She's running for Congress in Florida's 26th district, and she ran for lieutenant governor. She's been very active in Democratic politics for years. Annette, good to have you with us.
It's great to be with you, Ed.
What is happening with Jeb Bush? I mean, how is he playing out in Florida? What's the coffee shop conversation about why he's not doing better in the polls with the resources that he has?
Just two words, Donald Trump. Donald Trump is definitely sucking the oxygen, but what's really sad is I think people expected, even those of us who don't agree with everything Jeb Bush says, we expected a little more leadership from him and from anyone who is supposedly pro-immigration. I mean, it took him 3 weeks to say anything when Donald Trump announced and called Mexican immigrants rapists and killers. I mean, that's not leadership. So there is a big deflation of a balloon that was created by that lack of understanding and that lack of leadership and standing up for us. He's married to a Mexican American, and in now just even when he claims he wants to, I mean, I'm talking about Donald Trump now, when he starts talking about the 14th Amendment, we got to do away with it. We got the entire pack of all of them seem to be following him to the bottom of the barrel, following Trump to the bottom of the barrel, instead of leading and saying, you know what, we are a nation of immigrants and we are here, all of us in one way or another have contributed to this country being the great country that it is, and by demonizing one group is certainly not the way to lead.
Well, Bush is trying to mop this up. He's done a few radio interviews, and he says he supports granting birthright citizenship to children of immigrants. But then he goes on to talk about fraud. He goes on to talk about, the different abuses that take place that he wants to crack down on. Is that going to be good enough? Is his stance to support the 14th Amendment going to be strong enough?
No, because in a radio interview just yesterday, he was talking about, yes, we need to look at these things, and then he mentioned, even by word, he said anchor babies. And that is just so absolutely insulting. These are not anchor babies, these are babies. And for a party that claims to be caring about babies, they seem to have different standards for different babies. All of these are babies that we should, welcome. And by the way, interestingly enough, some of them that are running would be affected by this. Marco Rubio's parents were not citizens when he was born in the United States. Yeah. We got Ted Cruz, who, was born in Canada. We got the Louisiana governor, with the same situation. So, I mean, it's just like within their own, defense, they're not defending themselves.
Annette Taddeo, you're on the cutting edge of, I think, where the minorities and Latino community in this country are. This is, and put into words, how big a letdown for the community when Bush does not respond. when Bush takes so long and then almost parcels his words on this and is not as direct. One thing about Trump, he is direct, and so is Ted Cruz, and so is Ben Carson. And this directness seems to be something that's appealing to the rabid base of the Republicans. And if Jeb Bush wants to grab them, he's almost pacifying them to a sense, but he's not coming out strong enough. And I guess the word I'm looking for is inclusive. Is he missing the inclusiveness that's going to be needed for him to garnish a good portion of the Latino and the minority community in this country? What do you think?
Well, his hometown of Miami is where I live, and I can tell you that every single day on the radio, in Spanish, this is all that is talked about.
Wow.
And the lack of response and the lack of leadership. And then when anyone comes on, to defend, they just say that no, Donald Trump was put up. My opponent says Donald Trump was put up by the Clintons. I mean, it is just they can't seem to be able to just say this is wrong, Donald Trump, you're wrong. And you're right. There's a huge percentage from now. It keeps growing, even in Florida, that are just responding to Donald Trump's directness and frankly just ability to say what he feels and what apparently, the base of the Republican Party feels, which is sad to say.
Annette, how's your race going in the 26th down in Florida?
Great. Working hard and, trying to talk to the voters. But again, I'm running against someone that claims to be, to criticize Trump for those reasons, saying that he's just a plant. And but I'm enjoying it.
Your opponent is actually saying that Trump is a plant.
Yes, he says that Trump is a plant. But what's really interesting about Miami? Miami is a very progressive city, and what I'm finding is that I have an opponent that realizes that he can't win with an R next to his name. So he's desperately trying to be a Democrat. Well, I have news. You're not a Democrat. And I am.
Annette, always good to visit. I appreciate your time. We'll do it again. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Ed.
Annette Taddeo with us here on Ed Schultz News and Comment.